If you have been in a car accident, then you know how difficult it can be dealing with the insurance companies and getting your claim settled. But what do you do if the other driver doesn't have insurance or they just took off? Well, that's why John Evans, attorney at law, is here today to help explain what recourse you have. And we're going to get to all of that in just a moment. But first, tell us about your experience.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Well, I practice injury law, and I have been practicing for 35 years. And I've made my practice so that I'm always the person that meets with my clients, never a staff person.
Oh, that's good to know. So what do we do, John? What is the first thing that we should do after a car accident?
There's 3 things you have to be sure to do. Number 1, always call the police. Second, if there's injuries, call an ambulance. And then third, you have to be able to gather witness contact information, and you need to take photos. Your phone is okay to do it, but take photos of the vehicle and the scene so people will know what happened later. That can be remembered, so I have a checklist that you can download from my website, and you can put that in your glove compartment, and that will tell you what to do.
And if you're not able to take pictures, have someone else do that at the scene?
Yes.
And so are we supposed to talk to the other driver's insurance company?
You really shouldn't,
Okay.
because the goal of the insurance company at that point is to obtain a release from you for as little money as possible, and before you know whether you will have future care or extensive bills. A good example of this is recently a case that I took to trial. The insurance company knew that my client had extensive medical treatment that she needed in the future to cope with her injury, but they didn't want to pay for it. So we took the case to trial, and the jury rendered a verdict of over $1 million. And that's because they saw that my client needed this future care.
All right, so if we're not supposed to talk to the insurance companies, what should we do?
You should retain a lawyer if you're injured, and you should not be afraid to do that, because most people probably know that lawyers charge contingent fees. That means a percentage of what they obtain for you by way of a settlement or a verdict. And you don't have to pay for that until the very end. And if there is no money obtained, you have no fee.
So what if it's a hit and run? Or what if it's a hit and run situation? You don't even know who the driver is. Does that mean that there's not going to be any insurance there to help us kind of get through these medical bills or any other bills that pile up after an accident?
No, there are things that you can do.
Okay.
But you have to have, at this point, you really do need a lawyer who is diligent and experienced with insurance law. The first thing that I do is I read my client's insurance policy, and I look for uninsured motorist coverage, because that is coverage that covers a hit and run accident. Now, when I look at the policy, if I see that it's not listed in the policy, I ask the insurance company to produce a document that they're supposed to have showing that at the time of purchase of the policy that they offered uninsured motorists to my client, that coverage. And if they can't produce it, then there's automatically coverage. The other thing I do is look for the hit and run driver. There are ways to find him. You can do a public records request. I've done that and gotten 911 recordings where Good Samaritans have called in the license plate number of the hit and run driver. So there's other things that you can do to get the bills paid, and I've laid those out in a blog that I have on my website.
That's very good information, because again, you may feel all alone at this accident. Nobody stopped to help you, but that doesn't mean they didn't call in and report it just because they didn't stop. And of course, all of the cameras at these different
so
intersections.
True. Yes, surveillance cameras are around as well. And sometimes it's dangerous for a person to stop, but they still will pick up the cell phone and call in the information. People are good people.
They are great information. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We have a special offer to give you this morning. If you mention Sonoran Living, you'll receive a free consultation. John Evans, attorney at law. He is located in Scottsdale. Give him a call today, 480-573-0600. You can also go online at scottsdalepersonalinjurylaw.com. You can also email him at contactjohn@scottsdalepersonalinjurylaw.com.